There's Addie Heidemann, the 5'11" senior setter for the Griffins, who is waiting for a volleyball, as we all are. And there it is. Just finishing, sanitizing the ball before we get started.
Yep. All kinds of protocols.
That's right. Heidemann starts it off. Right away out of the back row, the roll shot by Mechke not down. Opportunity on the left side near the pin. Good block, good touch. And the third member of our crew today, he'll be patrolling courtside throughout the day. That's Ryan Mix. Let's go over to Ryan.
Good morning, Larry and Kathy. It's great to be with you here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Looking forward to a full day of state championship. And this is the hardware that will be handed out all day here at PBA. It's fitting that at the pinnacle of the season, the state championships handed out at Pinnacle Bank Arena, of course.
It does feel a bit different. CWC on top 4-zip on the top seed, Diller Odell. So many coaches, Kathy, have commented, big block in the middle there, and that is Morgan Ramsey. You'll hear a lot of her today. But so many of the coaches have said, throughout these state championships, as a timeout is called, we'll get to that thought in a moment. Diller Odell takes the timeout as they trail 5-zip, and look at the big block by Ramsey.
Ramsey does a great job there, really penetrating across the net, matches right up on the shoulder. The program's really stepped up and got us to this point because of that.
On the right side, roll shot by Dirks not down. Pushed over, good effort, great save. Nice up on the one-hander by Mechke to keep it alive. Pushed out to the pin. A lot of touches here early from CWC on the block. And bingo, through the middle goes Morgan Ramsey. She has 59, make it 60 kills now here at state.
She has been a tremendous leader in this state tournament. And again, she comes up big here.
Give Koenig some credit on that first touch on the last. And again, that was into the tape, did not clear, hitting
and
error.
They really have embraced the opportunity. We will not let this year or our careers end without giving everything we've got.
Just a little bit past the pin. Nice job to keep that in play. And another opportunity on the tip try. Good coverage right there by Koenig. Koenig again.
Nice big string.
And again, that big right side block. Getting a lot of touches on that far pin. And off of the block. Good pass. Push behind. Roll just in. Great roll shot by Koenig.
Ball coming too fast. Mechke couldn't get her hand out of the way there.
And that was Carly Heidemann. We'll hear a lot from Heidemann as well. Heidemann has had 31 and 18 kills in her 2 matches down here at state.
She's an incredible attacker.
Now will serve for the Griffins. Bump set out. Not down for Ramsey. And again, that big swing on the left side by Heidemann.
Heidemann just really powers that ball, blasted against the block. Ramsey was up there, but again, not sealed straight across. You can see her hands still facing a little outside and just that strong swing.
Good angle. Boy, what a great shot there by Carly Heidemann. And Caselder will take a timeout for CWC. You see the angle there, and back to action here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. We mentioned Diller Odell, the defending state champions, but that was in D1. They have moved down this year to Class D2. Big block. Great matchup as those two are in the front row against each other. They'll go the other way this time. Right side attack.
Her swinging in from a different location.
Off the fingertips of Mechke on the swing. Trying to just free ball it over. And the service error. Morgan Ramsey has gone 33 and 26 in the 2 matches at state for a total of 59.
We're going to see all day long just high-quality players from D2 all the way up, which is so exciting for the state of Nebraska.
A terrific job there by Allie Heidemann to get a hand on that, on the block, and then powering through it. There are 3 juniors on CWC. Everyone else is a senior.
Seniors. That's why this is so important to them. And again, the hard work they've put in.
And a kill by Mechke. Tough serve, chase down.
She really drives that ball.
Another tough serve by Mechke, not handled well. Bump set out, it'll free ball over. Good opportunity here for CWC. They'll run it outside and deliver. She's actually a former libero, sat out a couple of years with an injury. First year she's been swinging.
She's a kind of the big game player.
Run the middle, and Johnson into the block. There's Addie Heidemann. Good pass on a tough serve. 2 touches called. So Heidemann back to that service line. She leads Diller Odell with 76 aces coming into the state tournament. The team's trying to get in system here in this rally. Finally won. The Griffins have slowly begun to claw back into this. The back row, and that's going to be long. Good serve going here by Heidemann. And finally,
Gave her a great opportunity to make a good swing.
right between the back row. Wide off the hand of Ramsey. And a slow truck back, but they're right there.
Just been very patient and stayed within themselves, doing a great job.
And there's Ramsey off the block. Butterfield into serve for CWC. Free balled over by Pelster, the libero. And another aggressive attack by Carly Heidemann.
Diller Odell did a great job taking advantage of that free ball. They've got Heidemann up front. Took that ball, fast tempo, as you can see, beat the block.
Heidemann again, just wide. Good touch by Ramsey on the swing. On the overpass, put down by Lily Swanson.
Position, so when that ball came up to her, she was ready and on top of it.
Nice job to avoid the touch on the net as well as she went over and got it.
And she's really a tucker out on the court, really, again, encourager, leading. Again, a lot of seniors here taking on that role and commitment to each other. Great up there, too.
What an up by Mechke off a big swing from Heidemann. Heidemann will get another chance. Got it that time. Renegades happy to see that, although Heidemann now serving. She has 39 aces on the year.
I was going to say she contributes from the back row, just in a different manner.
That's right. Just an all-around player. Great in the back row defensively, can serve. You've seen how well she can hit. On the slide behind the setter. Off the block and a nice call there.
Just a different look in the offense.
Pass. Stayed in system, not down. Big swing by Mechke, and Mechke gets the kill in the 2 matches down here at State. Off to a good start here in the championship. Big block right at the net. That was Dirks who got a hand on it. Mechke again. Good up by Heidemann.
Talked about that complete player that she is.
Bump set. And sit over.
Great up to Ramsey, playing great defense in the back row as well.
Mechke doesn't clear the net on a key point there. 22 all now. Mechke, big block in the middle by Sadoff.
CWC had a great pass in system. Blockers were very disciplined and right on top of it.
Dirks with the swing off the top of the block. Dirks through the block and a big point. 24-23. Set point number 2 here for the Griffins. Mechke back to serve. Heidemann's in the back row. She'll pass. Run the left side. Good up. Second touch goes over by Dirks. Back row. Heidemann just long, and we are even. Good serve by Mechke. Pushed over, kept alive. Back row attack. At the pin, off the block. Good pass. In system, out to the pin. That went off the block, but up. Tough pass. Meyerly out of the back row, not down. Check out Mechke out of the back row. And
kudos to all of our member schools who put in the work to get our kids back to school and obviously to get us here today.
Obviously a little bit different format this year. Overall, how do you think this week has gone with 4 days and 1 venue?
Well, I think it's been outstanding. You know, part of what we discussed and what that went into this is we wanted to be able to maximize, obviously, the number of people that could get in to see these girls play. Throughout the state, we had to, limit people that could come in so that we could maintain our social distance and get through it. Looked at all the things that we could do, and we felt like this was the safest and the best place for us to be.
As expected, you knew there would be some hiccups.
Tremendously surprised. I'm going to be real honest. I didn't think we would get here. I had a lot of conversations with coaches all over the summer when we couldn't have camps. As schools had some outbreaks and whatnot, but overall, we made it. We're here. So,
with that being said, in previous years, the championships would be held at the Devaney Center. What are the odds that potentially the format could change in the future for volleyball?
Well, that's a great question. I think, it merits some conversation as we move forward. It's going to be tough to not go back to Devaney, we're the home of the Huskers. I mean, that's a tremendous, it's little girls' dreams, playing this sport. So we'll have the conversation once we get through this event.
Jennifer, thank you so much for the time. Congrats to you and your team for a great job this fall.
Thank you, and thanks for everything that NET does. We couldn't do it without you, so thank you.
What a great job the NSAA has done all year in really being on the forefront and leading the way in how to manage the pandemic through sports, right? I mean, the fact that these kids have been able to get through, in Lincoln we're in the red, right?
Right.
And to be able to get through a year and have as little positives as they had and be able to continue to play and have opponents to play, it speaks volumes of what the NSAA and the coaches around the state have done.
Well, and again, I think it's been so important. We found that schools are a really good place for our kids to be paid off, and it's been worth it, though, because, again, we do this for the kids. And the NSA has been leading in that, and our communities also.
He's out there imploring them, we got this. It's only one set. We can do this. He's kind of a little fireball out there.
That was exactly my word. She is a fireball.
Yeah. Off the top of the block and down. And really, it's the two rotations that, you know, Diller Odell is opening in the rotation with Heidemann in the back, whereas the Renegades are opening with both Ramsey and Dirks in the front row, which, you know, you saw Dirks run through the front row the last time and had 2 blocks during the interview. Just that presence up front has caused problems in that rotation when Heidemann is in the back. And then Heidemann rotates into the front, and then here comes Diller Odell.
So you kind of see that ebb and flow, that swing as the rotations lend to strengths. Just the faces of the teams as they finish that. And again, did we ever think we would still be here? And we're doing what we need to do to be able to continue to let our kids play, which is, like we said, a really important part of their lives and our schools.
Yeah, and I should clarify the statement. Not much has changed in the way that these are being played, with limited fans, social distancing, much more mask wearing than we had back in March, obviously, but everything has changed in the way that we approach dealing with the pandemic. And even on a day-to-day basis, as you said, it's like we now understand that school is the best place because kids are wearing their masks. They're being responsible.
And I think that's the critical part. And again, yes, Red a year ago looked a lot different than Red today does, as far as what we're doing with our schools, because great, again, leadership and people adjusting.
There are many states looking in who would love to be us, who would love to be Nebraska,
Absolutely.
who would love to be having state championships in their state. So we feel very fortunate. Big block on the right, and Diller Odell with a 3-point lead. But CWC hanging around.
But Sadoff is tough up there at the net. She really has led this team with that block all year long.
Nice job there by Haberchak to chase down that bump set and get a decent set on. One-on-one. Heidemann tries to tool it. Ramsey had nothing of it. Heidemann again, she won't touch that time.
Great up and save. Good body balance and control.
Yeah, did not completely cross, but then Heidemann delivers, who went all the way across court to the far pin and a wide open shot.
There's a lot to take in, and she's reading what the block's doing, where her players are, what she has available.
Nice soft hands on the set there by Allie Heidemann.
Great up.
Terrific up. And it's wide. Good driving serve by Koenig. On the angle, not down. The swing by Meyerly. Tough serve. Good pass. Right out to Heidemann. And we chased down, kept alive. Free ball coming up for the Griffins. They'll go right back to Heidemann again and puts it down. And nothing Ramsey could do there. She's late to the block, but nothing you can do with a tempo ball like that.
Yep.
That's why Christy Johnson likes Heidemann, who is on her way to Iowa State to play collegiate volleyball.
Pulling a kid from Nebraska.
Yeah. On the overpass, that's down by Johnson.
Fed that right up to Johnson, and she took advantage of it. Just a tough serve, though. Again, really that created that situation.
Ramsey is back at that service line.
Wow.
That'll take her off it on a big swing by Heidemann. Meyerly tried the short serve, just missed.
Mixing it up.
Line just long. There is no doubt that this is the showcase sport in high school athletics in the state of Nebraska.
And it's just great to see, again, young women, excelling. One of the messages, again, CWC coach said, we talk about women uplifting women and being promoters of each other out here on the court and in our daily lives as well.
Aggressive swing, but a big block in the middle. And again, that's Sadoff, who has had a big presence at the net for the Griffins.
She's done a phenomenal job up at the middle, really doing a great job setting up, working hard to close and seal blocks up.
Tough serve on the second touch, not down by Heidemann. Ramsey with the swing, overpass, and Dirks with the kill. Dirks puts it down. Block in the middle. Ramsey and Dirks got a hand on it on the double, and then Ramsey with the kill.
Great work there by Ramsey, up at the block, getting off, being ready, and an eligible attacker, and then coming in hard.
So 2 straight here now for the Renegades. And again, and that block, and that puts the Griffins at set point here in set number 2. Addie Heidemann with the driving serve,
Yes.
and Heidemann with the ace. Rachel wishes you could be here as well. 2-1.
Heidemann takes off right off, serving tough again coming into this third set.
2-zip to Love is the lead in the match. Double block there on Ramsey, but she
Great,
goes through it.
pancaked up.
What a terrific up. Back row down and a point for the Renegades, but what an up by the libero, Madeline Swanson.
Great up, but then again, it's followed up here with the absolutely perfect pancake. Pops that up, got a good height on it, and kept it alive.
Another tough serve there for the Renegades. Just wide. The only junior who has significant playing time on this Renegade squad. Overpass and put down by Ramsey, and Pelster on another run from the service line.
Ramsey, she's ready and willing to take care of that.
Good pass there. Heidemann in tempo, goes line and just wide. Heidemann back row to Heidemann. Good up by Mechke. Blocked out of touch. Dirks is blocked.
So Sadoff really doing a tremendous job up the net, working hard.
On the year. Not much you can do with that on the swing by Carly Heidemann.
And again, that quick contact, Heidemann is just too tough to slow down.
Heidemann again has 12 kills in the match.
Tough serve. She's playing hard and doing some great things. What a competitor.
Irely right behind her with 7 kills for CWC. Here's Heidemann again. Good up. Off an aggressive swing. Mechke got the top of the fingers and a kill for Mechke. That's 8.
She's really been a spark plug on that outside. Again, been fun to watch. She's really played a very complete game in the back row as well in the front row, but she just keeps making shots. Here she goes for that high hand.
Pulled out of the net. Boy, what a set.
Giving her sister that big, wide open view.
Second touch.
Yep.
Good decision by Haverchuk.
Waits till that last second and just directs it over.
And the ace. Just lead of the match.
Great hustle.
Two on the block, swing by Johnson.
Using the block and using that outside hand.
Served by Haverchuk. Mechke with another swing, and Mechke with the kill. That is 9 now, and Mechke leads CWC. Haverchuk, the senior setter, who's been a setter since her freshman year. Coach says she's put in a lot of extra work, not a natural setter. She always kind of thought of herself as a libero, but she's quick, does a nice job of getting to the ball, and got to that one and put it right on for Mechke.
And Coach Kasler has said, these kids are doing it. I mean, they're willing to do whatever it takes. It's that important to them and willing.
Big solo block by the freshman Lily Swanson. And now Swanson will head back to serve. And the kill by Dirks. Rachel Dirks with the kill.
What a shot. Great job there, Emma Joseph. And really just utilizing a lot of players, making some great shots. Serving tough has also been a key factor for them. They've been back at that line, really driving the ball. Here you see those hands.
That is in. Nice touch by Johnson.
Just catches that line.
It was wide, point, CWC.
That block on that right side with Dirks and Ramsey has been so good for CWC.
There's a lot of long arms to get around up there.
Ava Lovett. Service long, point, CWC.
What a dominant game 3 here by CWC.
And I'd say it's really started with their strong serve. They've really been driving the ball and getting themselves balls that they then can come back and be aggressive with, and their block. Block has really stepped up here in this set.
But very active across the front row.
Butterfield, one of the 8 seniors on this team, and she's actually torn her ACL twice already, so extremely bad luck for her, but it's great to see her back out on the court. She said she's missed so much time, especially in the summer during what would normally be practice and club volleyball season, and as opposed to being on the court, she spent so much time in physical therapy. So great to see her end her high school career being able to play in this match.
That's what great players do. They find a way to contribute in a different manner. Again, it maybe doesn't look the same as it did before, but I'm still finding a way and willing to work hard and take on that role.
Good tip right at the net by Meyerly. Third time at state for this senior squad of the Renegades. Only loss on the year came to Wayne in a tournament, 2-1. And in a 5-set match, this is the first time all year they've lost 2 sets. As that goes into the net. Free ball. Heidemann on the slide to Swanson, not down. Slide the other way. Ramsey is dug, and here's Heidemann.
Yep, Ramsey in the net, working hard.
Ramsey far pin. And the block again, and all of a sudden,
Blocked by Carly Heidemann.
Griffins have rattled off 5 straight, and a timeout will be taken. Metchke again drives through that block right off the top of the fingertips. Back to Heidemann. Nice up. That's
Off
Koenig
a
with the
big swing. Here comes Heidemann again.
Got me once, but not twice.
Guessing, and they've got to really read. But again, that shows great decision making.
Out of the back row. Got a good swing on it.
Another one. There she goes again.
Boy, really nice job to redirect by Metchke in the air to get a hand on that.
Wheeler Central wins set 3.
And they would love to push this to a deciding 5th here to open up the day in our day-long coverage of state high school volleyball championships. Glad to be with you along with Kathy Wieskamp. I'm Larry Putney. Our entire NET production crew is been hard at work setting these up for you and bringing you this coverage. Glad you could join us.
It was long.
Hitting error, first point to the Renegades. Pelster serving for the Renegades, and for the Griffins, Heidemann in the back row. And she gets a swing out of the back row there. 2 touches, even at 1.
2-hit point, Diller Odell.
So Addie Heidemann now back to serve, the senior. Good aggressive swing by Ramsey. Butterfield now back in.
It was long. Point, CWC.
Butterfield, good serve. Pulled Heidemann away, leads to the free ball. Aggressive swing on the second by Ramsey, wasn't wasting any time. That is just wide at the last minute. Metchke lets it go. Ryan Mix has been patrolling the sideline and creeping in on huddles. What'd you find out, Ryan?
Well, Larry, I don't want it creeping to be the word, but it was a disappointing set for Diller Odell, and players and Coach Hesterman, they were pretty passionate in that set. They felt like overall just to be more communicative and show a lot more energy. They're only 1 set away from a state title, and Coach made sure that they remembered that.
Renegades.
Good pass there. And that's
Good hustle.
and really challenging the Griffins. There we got Griffins got a nice pass and it paid off.
Metchke
Again.
with the kill. Metchke now with 13 kills in the match, and she's hitting above 400, 436.
Hey, if you're a senior, you are going to come out in this championship game and play your best, and she has definitely been able to do that today. Good decisions all the way around.
Nice job by Johnson to provide her own coverage, and then out of the back row, Ramsey with the kill. Ramsey coming alive here in these last 2 sets. She has 12 now.
For the Renegades, number
And that's
13,
one
Rachel
nice
Durst.
thing. Again, both of these teams utilize their big hitters from that back row, adding another dimension. And if they get pulled off, still have a big attack.
Carly Heidemann.
Heidemann now will serve. Powered through that block.
Metchke.
It's powerful, and so blockers got to really be set and solid and know who they got in front of them.
Good tough serve there.
Good control.
Killed by Emma.
Off the tape. Got a nice roll there by Johnson.
Serve is long.
Long
Diller
by
Odell.
Metchke. A tough serve by Swanson. Did a great up. Koenig kept it alive.
Great choice, great decision. She knew exactly where the open area was on the court. Good recognition.
No touch, and it's long. Elster now back in rotation 1 here for the Renegades. This is the rotation. They've been able to do some damage.
Yes.
And it's thanks in part to that big block.
Again, technique.
Out of the back row, Heidemann. Heidemann with the kill.
Carly Heidemann, White Griffins.
Good swing.
Rachel Dirks. Kill by Carly Heidemann.
Deep corner by Carly.
Working those corners, making the defense pursue balls. And finds it perfectly in that corner.
Free balled over and got the free ball bump kill. Diller Odell on top 2-1 here in the D2 title game.
Kill by Carly Heidemann.
Carly Heidemann now with 20 kills in the match. And she's hitting
Kill
above.
by Morgan Ramsey.
Good swing from the left side. You know, we haven't mentioned, I think it's, you probably noticed, but one of the things, you know, due to the pandemic that has changed is teams are no longer switching benches.
I think teams do too. I mean, they kind of get settled in and focused and
Overpass.
Kill by Emma Johnson.
And the ace. Big ace by Ramsey.
and again that energy and just that momentum shift.
Just long. Renegades on top.
But creeping close to that 20, you know, that's kind of that benchmark of
Outside. There's the block.
Blocked by
And Heidemann credit for it. Here's another
here.
look.
And I think, yep. And I think they called
Called
it in.
net?
Yeah, I think.
Called the block, yeah.
Yeah.
You see Meyerly successful on this point for the Griffins. You're likely going to get a timeout here from the Renegades. On the slide. Right off the top of the tape and finds the floor.
So, and that's really been shown up late, I think, in the match.
Tough serving again leads to the overpass. Etchke off the block. Got a touch on it. Free ball. Tough one to handle. In system.
Yep.
Boy, great job. And the pace on the in-system ball on a tough pass. You know, I wonder if there's anywhere else in the country, Kathy, where the smallest class in the state has this kind of quality.
The kids are willing to do anything. She said, we are a bunch of farm girls that are willing to work hard here, do whatever it takes, always open to learn. And what a coach's dream.
Yes, absolutely. Good driving serve. The freshman, Swanson, not down. And into the pin on a tough ball to
Yep.
handle.
To get to, again, being in her offhand side also, it even made it more difficult.
And serve point CWC.
Renegades 4 away from pushing this to a deciding 5th in our first match of the day. Heidemann out of the back row.
Kill by Carly Heidemann, White Griffins.
And again, she can cause a lot of trouble even when she's in the back row. You think about her in the front row, but the work that she does back there on the attack.
Kill by
Talk about a great attacker right here. We go Ramsey up front.
Alexis Butterfield serving. Good pass. Heidemann, back row to Heidemann. And long.
It was long. Point CWC.
2 touches. Set point here for CWC. As Ava Lovett serves. Ramsey with the swing down the line. Good up by Heidemann. On the far side, Ramsey goes to the other side and gets a swing. In the middle, Ramsey. Kept alive. Great over by Mechke. And then Heidemann terminates. With some great effort on both sides there. Third set point here. Tip along the net. Heidemann was there. Free ball. Heidemann in the middle with the block on Ramsey. So 4th set point on the slide. Ramsey blocked.
And I started off, I apologize for the beginning, I was Coyotes, and so the combination created the Renegades.
Tip, not down. Down the line, got it! From the left side, the swing by Koenig. The race to 15 here in set number 5 between the Renegades of Chambers Wheeler Central and the Griffins of Diller Odell. A free ball on the first opening rally. Off the top of the block.
Great up.
Outside. Big swing by
It
Dirk.
up, and great decision also to go back to Dirks on that, take it a different direction.
Rachel's older sister, Reagan, was also a great high school volleyball player. Never had the opportunity to get here in the state championship, and I'm sure Rachel will remind her of that frequently. And then on the turn.
And can you just feel a little more energy here? I mean, after we started this, it just the atmosphere feel here of this 5th set. I like it.
But isn't this what you would expect from a group of seniors?
We don't want to be denied, and we don't want to leave this without giving everything we've got.
Ramsey again, tip. Oh, good up. Kept alive. Heidemann out of the back row, free balls it. Swing. Koenig got the kill. Helping train them and get them ready for this moment. And here they are, all seniors on the floor and acting like it in a big moment. Good up there. Pushed outside. Koenig again. Got it! Big swing from the left pin. Griffins have to find a way to get out of this rotation.
We got to pass the ball here, give them a chance. You know, and I feel like the Griffins, it looks a little bit more tense.
Yeah. Ramsey again got it off the block.
This looks very similar to set number 1, that strong start, this rotation.
So similar. And finally ended by Meyerly on the left side, and what a big swing that was for the Griffins. Upset, Ramsey, tip, sit back, and then off her shoulder. Koenig got it again. And a chicken wing it there. I was blocked and didn't see that. Nice job to just keep that alive. Ramsey through the block, good up by Heidemann. Now Heidemann powers through and out.
Saw earlier too, again, we get her rotated to the front and let her take over.
No touch on the block. Nope, they are gonna say touch. No, now they don't.
Out.
So ball out and point to the Griffins. Kept it in. And here comes Carly Heidemann. Not done yet. 25 kills for Heidemann.
You know, as you mentioned, she had 33
Yeah.
in first round. She is warming up.
She might need another 33 here. Oh, had the open floor. Out of the timeout, they'll go to Ramsey. Heidemann kept it alive. Free ball again. In system. Pushed out. And into the antenna. Ramsey. Boy, great redirection.
Yep.
Look at how much she had to move off of
Yep.
her path to get to that ball. Heidemann, bingo. 26 for Heidemann.
The block just can't keep up with that fast pace to the outside. In the net.
9-8. And the ace! Set number 5. Griffins to serve. Pump set to Ramsey, not much to do with that. Heidemann, a little tight. Goes off of Ramsey. And suddenly the passing breaking down a bit for the Renegades here in crucial moments. Heidemann again, good up there.
Yes.
And there's Mechke. Mechke was 16 now. And she will serve. Good, tough serve. Nice pass, Heidemann. Boy, had a one-on-one there and could not get a set to hit. This time she does.
I was gonna say that was a set to hit.
But what a dig in the back row by Butterfield. Chasing that out.
Hitting 360 plus.
Wow. Tight. With the block there, that's Addie Heidemann. On the slide. Good job to keep it alive. Back row Ramsey. Swanson couldn't get it down, but the push put him out of system. Heidemann out to Lovett. Lovett off the top of the block, not down. Deep corner, not there, kept alive. Lovett again. Back row, got it! Heidemann, big swing! In the middle. The Griffins looking for their second consecutive state championship. And Mechke powers through, picks up kill number 17. Match point number 2. Mechke again finds the floor, miscommunication. Havercheck to serve. This is the 3rd match point. Ooh, looks like it was brought back in.
Yeah.
And long, no touch. Haverchuck serves. Passes off. Goes back to Lovett. Into the net on Lovett. Free ball.
See what they do.
In the middle. Kept alive. Lovett with the good swing. Got it. Big swing by Lovett. Boy, Ava Lovett has had to be big over there on that left side, and at just 5'7", that was a big swing.
She did a great job getting her feet to the ball. Key.
Another match point. Lovett again. Got it! Ava Lovett closes it out! And the Griffins are back-to-back state champions!
Into the match, 3 sets to 2.